Ты у меня там ступай.
Nandun siya! Nandun siya! Altitude, 8,000 meters! 639 position! Natagpuan na namin siya! Pinipad siya patungong timog silangan! Ah! Lalong na yan! Nakakatuwa ito ah! Maglaro muna tayo! Okay na kami ngayon! Natakasan na namin siya! Oh! Ay! Oh! Mayday! Teka, saan naman kaya ako pupunta?
Life's a dream, we are dreaming.
As soon as his hand gripped me, I got very warm and the chills left me, and it was as though my mind could now see and kind of comprehend clearly what was going on. I'll never forget the hand. It was a very rugged-looking hand, and it looked as though it had been through a great deal of work. Almost, you know, like a man who's a blue-collar worker that uses his hands like a mechanic or a builder or a plumber or something. It was a very rugged hand, and it was a very thick hand. It wasn't like mine. You know, I'm kind of a small-boned person, but this was a very solid hand, and it gripped my shoulder, and warmth and peace began to flood through me. After a few moments, I turned back, and there was the Lord Jesus Christ standing behind me. I don't know how he got in that room, because it was just a small holding cell and the doors behind us were shut. And then all of a sudden he looked me in the eyes. He looked at me very, very sternly. It wasn't like a reproof or conviction, but it was more of just him looking and peering into my life. And the most unusual thing occurred to me. At the very instant I looked at him, his eyes were not brown or green or blue or anything like that. They appeared to be red like fire, and they were just looking clearly through my whole life. Somehow at that moment I was able to realize that him looking at me was actually looking through me, and he knew everything of me. He knew my strengths, he knew my weaknesses, he knew every lie deep down inside of me, he knew every deception, he knew every place that I was afraid and I had compartmentalized. My whole being, by him looking into me, was exposed to me. It was very frightening. It was a very intense moment. I wish I could say that seeing Jesus at that moment made me very happy. It didn't. It made me very fearful. I understand now what the fear of the Lord is because of that experience. I've had the Lord visit me 3 times in my life, the resurrected Christ, and each time He's manifested Himself, it was never a tiptoe through the tulips for me. It was always, I wanted to hide under the carpet because, am I here to die? What are you going to do? What do you want from me? It was a powerful manifestation of Jesus. It was not this, we're pals and buddies kind of a thing. I did not see that. I saw Him in His awesomeness. And when He looked through me, He knew everything about me. He knew every nook and cranny. And about a few moments after realizing this, realizing my own depravity, He spoke to me and He looked sternly into my eyes and He said, "Fear not, my son, for death will never hold you." This was unusual to me. And then instantly it was like a kind of a courage flooded through me. I wish I could tell you that I got very bold and preached a great sermon and got everybody saved, but I didn't. It was just courage to go through what was before me. And so these men strapped me down now, and this individual, by the way, before they strapped me down, they asked me one more time, "You can renounce him now." And I said, "No, he's the Lord of all." And I knew that He had saved me in the dream because of the prayer and the thing with that older man. But when I looked at him, I knew now, and I can tell you folks, I know for a certainty, He is the Lord of lords and the King of every king. And I'm telling you, where the Scriptures say every knee will bow, every tongue will confess His Lordship, whether in heaven, on earth, or under the earth. When I saw Him, there is not one knee, there is not one tongue that will not confess His Lordship, regardless of what side of the coin they are, when He reveals Himself to them. Every knee will bow. Trust me. Because this presence that He stood in was so powerful, so awesome, so anointed, so terrible, so to speak. Like the Scriptures say, He's terrible in His presence. Terrible in the sense that you knew that there's no power on earth that could challenge Him. Folks, I'm not afraid of nuclear bombs at all. I have no fear of nuclear disaster, because I know that the God of the universe that revealed Himself to me is greater than any demonstration that man can concoct.
The relationship between the President of the United States and other worldly beings stretches back to the very founding of the country. From its earliest days, the U.S. government has been associated with signs, symbols, and allusions to cosmic contact.
The founding fathers of America were very open-minded and forward-thinking people. Thomas Jefferson reported seeing a UFO. Benjamin Franklin wrote that he believed in life on other planets. Even George Washington had a portrait made of himself that has a UFO in the sky. So you have this idea of the founding fathers even possibly being influenced themselves by extraterrestrials.
Oh, look at that rainbow. So she's baby, it's me. She must be there. It's a rainbow. Oh, yes. Oh, look. It's a rainbow, blue.
I know na, I know.
Look at that.
Dali na, kunta ko ya. Kapawak kay kali na.
Hindi na maklaro yan.
Okay kaya.
Matawag inis sa tubig.
Another thing about the Kingdom Age, it's the best imaginable, the best imaginable stage coming with government. Not the one that is there now. I have been saying God's going to take over the government because His people have finally started coming into agreement. Your will be done your way in our government. Not man, not the enemy. When you begin to declare His will, His way, come, I'm telling you, that's all He needs to be. He's already doing things behind the scenes that nobody knows about.
Long and lasting love is what I always dreamed of. And when I looked into your eyes, I knew I'd really seen love, a long and lasting love.
And he's one of the kindest, most beautiful, amazing beings I have ever met. The Father, beautiful. Beyond description, hair white as wool. It's alive. You want to touch his hair. Just standing in front of him, life flows into you. The living rainbow that moves in waves in and out of him. You're staying there, you turn the color of the rainbow. You're staying there by him. It's blue and purple coming up. Blue, you turn blue, then you turn purple. Okay, whatever color is coming in and out of him, it brings life into you. It's his love. It's his love for you. It's his glory. His glory is his love. He has eyes, blue flames of fire that burn in his head. You can see blue flames of fire out of all the glory coming. You see blue flames of fire that are his eyes. If you ever stand there long enough for that glory to shift and you see his eyes, it's like lightning striking you. 1,000,000 megawatts of love that captivate you and pull you into him. And when you are welcomed home to heaven and he reaches out of that glory and holds you with his arms and says, I am so glad you have come back to me. I've been waiting on you. My heart beats for you. I'm never going to let you go.